Welcome back. Hey, I ain't feeling my best, but I couldn't miss the only moment, the moment that I had to do, get the show out there, get a new show out there. I wasn't about to miss it. So I'm here with y'all. Happy Sunday to everybody as we get into another N.y.a show. Hope that everybody's been well on their end. Everything been good on my end. It was, I feel like, um, so enough time has passed that I had to go back do the camera log to actually see everything that has transpired since the last time that I put a show out based off what I'm seeing there on my YouTube channel. Because number one, of course, I do filming on Sundays. I do a filming for a project that someone's working on. I do that on Sundays, so that I see that in here. There was a 3 o'clock program of pastor appreciation. I put that up since my last show. Maybe I need to put one of those stickers in there because that for sure happened. All right, I'm running on track because I read the pastor history there. So that was that. That was that. My brother Brandon, his birthday came. He had a celebration. That's happened. Then the 4th of July came around. I put some on the grill, baby. The hot dogs, the chicken, the salmon. You know what I'm saying? The corn. We put that on the grill. That was the 4th of July. My grandma Shirley was in town. I see Grandma Shirley in here in the mix. Hit the pool this past weekend. Hit the pool with my dog, Big Money Do. We all the kids went to the pool. I see that there. I see baby boy here at the pool enjoying himself. Then my nephew cousin had his birthday on Monday. That was Kahari, and they had a big pool set up, cook cake, goodies. My cousin, she set all that up. So all that has transpired since the last time that I did the show. So that's just my quick rundown of like literally 2 weeks worth of life. Let me know what's going on in y'all life as we roll into another N.y.a show for the week. I want to start by saying, of course, let me get it. All right. Let me see how mother is let me go here. How Mother is Balancing Life in the Pursuit of Dreams. Interview with actress Breyonna M. Tambe by Ajay Tambe. That's available on Spotify as well as Spirit Arrested, award-winning short film by W3 Filmed It. Available on YouTube. Please support, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please. There was a great project. Came out last year. Please be sure that you support that. The link is, of course, always down in my big bio in the big description. So the story that I had pulled up was how a court rules that former Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin had authority to throw out plea deals for 9/11 alleged conspirators. This deal came maybe like this at the end of last year because this video that I pulled up on Fox came out 11 months ago. So that's when the news broke that they were going to actually have the plea deals to avoid the death penalty for just three. This is about 3 of them. There are still at least, I guess, 15, 16 in total alleged conspirators of 9/11 that are locked up, that are at Guantanamo Bay. And that's something I learned from the video that I'm going to also play here on YouTube. So that story came out, and then it got automatically something like a month later. A dispute happened over it, and now after the end of the dispute ends with the court saying, a federal appeals court saying that he was in the right to strike it down last year. The decision overturns a ruling by a military judge. Listen here. Last year, that a plea agreement setting aside the possibility of death of the death penalty for the men were valid and enforceable after Austin revoked the deals months before. So the decision was overturned, over what that military judge had said. The Secretary of Defense indisputably had legal authority to withdraw from the agreements. The plain and ambiguous text of the pretrial agreements show that no performance of promises had begun. Court documents outlining the decision of the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals said. Wells Dixon, let's hear from Wells Dixon, a senior staff of the Center of Constitutional Rights who previously represented another Guantanamo detainee, Majid Khan, criticized the court ruling on Friday, saying it will ensure nothing but the lack of ensure nothing but the continued lack of justice and accountability for anyone involved in the military commissions. The Biden administration effort to invalidate the plea agreements that were resolved in the lasting convictions and life sentences for the 9/11 defendants was implicable. Inexplicable. Dixon said. It was a painful betrayal of the 9/11 family members because we know after more than 2 decades of litigations at Guantanamo, and we know from experience that the 9/11 cases will never be resolved through a contested trial. And the thing here, like, when they mention how long these dudes have been there, and of course they're not on U.S. soil, so they don't have none of the rights that you would think of that come with being in this country. And please don't get it twisted, y'all. Even here in the state of Georgia, where I'm at, there are people been sitting in jail 2 years, 3 years, ain't been to court. You know what I'm saying? They have not been to court yet, had no trial, and they just sitting there. You know what I'm saying? Truly sitting there. And this is stuff that just happens on a daily basis just here in Georgia. So what do you think is going to happen in a situation when you're dealing with terrorists? You know what I'm saying? People marked terrorists that did something. How long you think they going to sit and ain't nobody, and trust me, don't nobody give a about these dudes. You get what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nobody that's going to hear the story and be like, oh man, that's messed up. So you already on lose type of angle, because they're going to say, oh, no, they was yeah, I'm going to do it 9/11. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, get the next fuck up out of here. So I want to play this Fox News story that I had just that was telling us who Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was. Like, this dude, as I say, is a man who, to be involved in so much shit, like they put him down to say he had to be backed by somebody with money or some type of money resources. Somebody please do, the in-depth to this, because there has to be more to it. A man that's been involved in so many different attempts to kill people, you got to have some strength behind you. The everyday man is not able to get access and do some of the things that they're saying that this man did. So let me make sure I got the sound right, and I want to play parts of this video, and I'm gonna go ahead and just let y'all. I want to get y'all thoughts on this story overall, about how now that decision about that, the death penalty being off the table, that's been that's been cut. Let's see.
A lot to get to on this one, but first off, I think it's important to remind the audience, who is Mohammed and why is he important?
Yeah, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was really, he became Osama bin Laden's right-hand man. But even before September 11th, he had been involved in a number of different terrorist activities, including the Richard Reed shoe bombing incident, where a terrorist boarded an airplane with explosives hidden in his shoes. He was involved in the 2002 Bali bombings in Indonesia. And according to reports, he is the one who killed Wall Street Journal reporter Daniel Pearl. And in addition to that, he conceived of an earlier plan to blow up 12 airliners in Asia that would have killed 5,000 people. And his nephew was involved in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, in which 100 people were killed and 1,000 were injured. So he was really central to the terrorist activities of Al-Qaeda for really almost a decade.
So Dan, why has the trial of him...
Okay, so that just tell you who this man was. Like I said, a man like that got to move with some type of muscle. You know what I'm saying? Got to be some type of muscle behind that. And then kind of just to wrap this thing in more, like I said, because they're dealing with a situation where if these people were allowed to come onto America, end up on American soil, and of course the Guantanamo Bay is still open, and it ended up closing. Biden, they talk about Biden saying he was going to close before he got out there. The fuck he didn't do that. But if they were able to get on the U.S. soil, and they would be able to get real representation to a real trial, because right now you in Guantanamo Bay, they've been detained there, if I'm not mistaken, for years. You know what I'm saying? Just like I talk about people here in Georgia, but they've been there for years on top of years on top of years. And a story like this came out like a year ago. I ain't never heard a peep about these dudes really too much. And this story came out like a year ago, and then it's the history of it. But like I said, nobody really cares, because it's like, these are terrorists. You know what I'm saying? Like, who gives a fuck? But the families, they want these people
and other 9/11 conspirators been delayed for such a long time. Why are we just hearing about this now?
The complexities of the issues surrounding the trial, I think, are enormous. And I think there was real conflict, real tension between trying to get as much information as possible, as quickly as possible after 9/11 to prevent any further attacks. And then secondly, to observe the legal procedures of the United States. And those two objectives were really in conflict with one another. In addition to that was the question of whether those captured on the battlefield in Afghanistan should be treated as soldiers and be given the rights of the Geneva Conventions. So there were just a lot of complexities surrounding the trials. But I think that the basic tension was the tension between trying to get as much information as quickly as possible to prevent further terrorist attacks and the attempt to...
I'm going to fast forward a little bit to when he talked about even the idea of the torture, them being able to speak on the torture and how the United States doesn't want them to be able to speak about the torture that happened to them on CIA jails.
Well, I think that, again, the complexities were enormous, whether the accused would be tried by a military court-martial. It turned out that military tribunals were established to conduct the trials. And I think the United States government in particular was anxious to keep any of the accused criminals out of the United States, because then they would have been accorded American legal rights, which is one reason that they were sent to Guantanamo, which is obviously not in the United States, nor is it U.S. territory. So some of the procedures that the accused would have been accorded had they been in the United States were bypassed by sending them to Guantanamo.
Is this disappointing families of 9/11 victims?
Yes. Overall, I'm pretty sure they are pretty disappointed. Like I said, these guys continue to not seek justice. Like I said, I want to make sure I shout out Austin Westfall before I got out of here, and Dan Caldwell for bringing, for this video they did some months ago that I'm just not getting a grip of, because this story is popping up about that court, about this court ruling right here that they had the right to throw out those plea deals. And now it's like all of the time that they took to put together those plea, the idea they came to an agreement. They said they were working on it for like 27 months ago. I'm pretty sure a grand group of people. And now it's like back to whatever. Like I said, more years of sitting until eventually, if I catch my eye again, we talk about what's happening now. You know what I'm saying? And this is just with 3 of them. It may be with one of, like I said, it's like 15, 16 that are at Guantanamo still who are alleged conspirators. Who knows when they gonna ever get a chance, or they would do some stories on their ass or what. But y'all let me know what y'all thoughts are. It's the N.y.a show. Appreciate the continued support of the show, and I'll be back with another show in just a minute. If I get my stop share going. Let me see, cool. Oh yeah, and I've been getting more. I got some. They've been out there complimenting the kid. You know what I'm saying? As I'm moving, as I'm moving around, talking about the smile. So I had to come through, make sure that the N.y.a show gets a gracious smile from your boy, and make sure I'm not, misleading those online when the ladies in person they saying that the smile is popping. My nigga, it's the N.y.a show, and I'll see y'all on the next one.